Welcome into this week's edition of the Co-Lin Coaches Show. Again, we're all about basketball, and joining me first is our head women's basketball coach, Dr. Britta Stevens. Coach, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
And Coach, obviously the last time we talked, you were coming off a loss against Holmes, but the last three have been a lot better for the Lady Wolves. You've gotten 3 straight wins, and we're going to go all the way back to this past Thursday. An absolute dominating performance out of the Lady Wolves, a 101-69 win over the Lady Dolphins at Delgado. I did a little bit of research. It's the first time broken 100 points since, I think, 2018. Only the 4th or 5th time since about the 2012 season. So really a little bit of a historic kind of performance. Your thoughts overall on how the ladies performed in that game overall?
Well, that's a few days ago, so I've got to go back and remember that game. I did feel like we played really well. I'll be honest with you, the 100 points kind of snuck up on me. I looked up and we had 99, and the kids on the bench are going, "Coach, we got 99," and I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even really realize we had 99." We played well. We shot it incredibly well. From the 3. We needed a good home win. We had gotten a good home win against South Arkansas. We didn't play very well at Holmes, and so I was glad we could rebound with this one against Delgado. Delgado is not one of the stronger teams in our league, so I knew going in that it should be a win for us, but I did not realize that we would be able to have that dominating of a performance. However, we played really well in the first half, and then I was a little disappointed in the second half. We continued to score, but defensively I didn't think we were very good in the second half. I thought we let their best player get loose and score a lot of points that we shouldn't have given her. So there were a lot of bright spots. There were also some things that we needed to work on, but it was a feel-good game. I think it was a game where everybody on our bench scored, and you always like that when everybody gets a chance to play and everybody gets a chance to score.
You look at the box score of this one, and I think this may be the first game where this has been the facts of it. You outscored them in every quarter, so you won every quarter in this one. You outscored them 28-11 in the first, 20-18 in the second, 23-20 in the third, and then 30-20 in the fourth, and that's how you get to 101-69. So anytime when you win every quarter, that's going to win you a basketball game, as seen by this. But you look at that one, and we did say 23-20 and 18-20 in those middle 2 quarters. That kind of felt like where if Delgado was going to get back, that's where they had their chances.
Yeah, like I said, through the middle of the game, we didn't play defense as well as I wanted us to. And when you have a large lead, when you have a 20 or a 30-point lead, it does get hard to keep them motivated and get them to play defense. We talk every halftime, whether it's a big lead or a big gap between us. The first 3 minutes of the third quarter are really important, and if you don't score in that time, it makes it hard. And we've had some difficulties with that, and so that's why it was a little disappointing in this one, because we did go through a scoring drought, and in tight games, you can't go through scoring droughts.
Right. We'll look at the line score, and the first performance we've got to highlight was probably the best performance she's had of her career. I know it was a career night for her in all these categories. Cookie Wilkinson was an absolute star, was the absolute star that she can be. Narrowly missed a triple-double, 31 points, 10 assists, 9 steals, all career highs for Cookie, and really she was what made the engine run for you all night.
Yeah, and she's kind of what makes our engine run every night. Cookie is by far our best player and a really good player. I didn't realize she had as many as she had because to me they were a quiet, she can be a quiet player. She's a very good passer. She wants everybody else around her to score, sometimes almost to a fault. Sometimes I'll get frustrated with her because she doesn't shoot it, or sometimes she wants to put it on the floor when I want her to shoot it. I had no idea how many points she had. You whispered to me she had 9 assists. I wanted to take her out. There were about 3 minutes left in the game, and I was ready to take her out and sit her the rest of the game because I was afraid of injury. And, that shoe's been on the other foot. I've been the team who's been getting beat 101-69. So there's mercy. I have a little mercy, and I was ready to take her out. When you said she's got 9 assists, I said, well, I can't take this opportunity from her to get that 10th assist because I knew it was possible. And had I known she had 9 steals, I probably would have left her in a little bit longer and given her that opportunity as well. Because a double-double is very difficult to get. A triple-double is something many people never get in their career. And so for her to have a career like that, at home in front of our crowd, I think that was kind of a breakout game for her, and I think that's going to be really good moving forward because people are going to know when they're coming to the game what they're going to see, especially out of her, but not only out of her, out of how well she makes her teammates play and what a good job she does of highlighting them.
Right. And you talked about how well the team shot it. Cookie shot it extremely well. It wasn't just when you throw out numbers and you say she shot 76.5% from the field, it wasn't like she shot 9 shots. She was 13 of 17 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3, 2 of 3 from the line. Just a phenomenal night for her. You had 2 other players in double digits as well too. Cam Pruitt had 16. Kyzar Bell had 13. You had Kaylee Johnston with 9. Imani Key and Tyra Johnson both had 8. Again, everybody who got in affected this game in some way on the box score. So again, just a great overall team win for you in this one. And then we fast forward to this past Monday. You look at this one, and you don't want to say you escaped, but you kind of feel like you escaped a little bit against LSU Eunice. You got a 2-point win, 71-69, and I think just talking to you feel like this might be your best win so far.
Yeah, I think the LSU Eunice win is our best win of this season so far. I celebrate every win. I'm happy with every win. Losses, I don't handle losing well, and losses teach you things, and we're a young team. We've got 9 freshmen and 10 new faces, and so even through the losses, we're growing and learning. But I felt like this was kind of a turning point game for us in our season. I felt like this was the first real team where we had been challenged on a neutral floor, and we needed to go and win this one. You talk about escaping this one. I didn't feel like we escaped this one. I felt like we escaped the Southern Shreveport game the next day. This one, we played from behind all night, and our grit and our tenacity and our ability to just keep playing. At one point in this game, we were ahead, and then they went down and make a big basket, and we're down. There's like 52 seconds, and they come to the sideline, and they're just deflated. I'm like, hey, y'all, there's 52 seconds left. Just because we're down doesn't mean the game's over. We have played from behind all night. Just keep making plays and keep doing things. I was so impressed. LSU Eunice presses traditionally the whole game. So I was worried about that because we have been a team that likes to turn it over a lot. I've talked about that a lot. And we spent a lot of time on Friday and Sunday talking about breaking their press. If we can break their press, we can win the game. And in the first half, I don't know if we turned it over against their press at all. We did an exceptional job of that. They stopped pressing us in the second half, which kind of threw me for a curve because usually they press the whole game. And I was like, all right, I was expecting them to press, and we didn't. But because we did such a good job of breaking their press in the first half, we were able to get out and get easy baskets. And I felt like they said, okay, we can't do this anymore. So very pleased with that. I was less pleased in the second half when they were in their half-court defense, and I felt like we turned it over more there, dribbling it in places that we didn't need to dribble it and just making some immature plays that, again, 9 new faces. We've got to learn that there are no dribble zones, and there are times when we've got to pass it instead of dribbling it in the middle of that zone.
You look at the box score. They won the first and third quarters. You won the second and fourth quarters, just to show how kind of even this match was. They outscored you 16-13 in the first quarter. Y'all outscored them 19-18 in the second. They took the third 22-17, and then you rebounded in the fourth. And probably the fourth quarter is where you won it, 22-13. That's where you make up the difference and get the win. That's where you get 71-69. And you look at the line score, and your leading scorer in this one was Cam Pruitt. She had a double-double, and there was a point there, I think you went down into the paint to her about 7 or 8 straight possessions, and every one of them she either scored or got to the line. 21-10 for her. Jay Robinson had 10 and 13, so both of your post players, or the two that you played down in the paint a lot, got double-doubles for you. And Cookie Wilkinson, again, 16. And, I talked to her after the game. I said that might be the quietest 16 you've ever had, and probably one of the most impressive plays she's had all year. She had the little reverse layup, got under the basket, went all the way around, and then threw it up with the offhand on the reverse layup. I told her, I said that was a very impressive play. But your thoughts overall on how well those three played and how they were able to keep you in the game and really seal it for you late?
Yeah, I think if you go back and look at that score, that fourth quarter was the big, we had hung with them, but the fourth quarter was the big one. And I'll say, yes, we scored the ball, but our defense in the fourth quarter was really what won us the game. We contained them. They're 3-point shooters. They did not shoot it extremely well from the three like they usually do. I thought one thing that our staff did a really good job of is Coach Thompson and we kept our timeouts in our pocket. And I felt like that was one thing that late in the game, had we not had 3 timeouts, had we not been able to call timeout and settle us down, I think that would have really hurt us. I think that was a good thing that we as a staff had talked about, and we did well. LSU Eunice was not a big team. They were a very guard-oriented team. That's something our team talked about, and we talked about in pregame. They were very similar to us because we're not a big team, but we do have posts who are very skilled and who can score. And late in the game, Cam Pruitt, we called her number over and over and over again, and she was able to perform for us. Not only did we call her number over and over again in the LSU Eunice game, the next day against Southern Shreveport, we did the same thing. Jay Robinson as well. Cam gets more of the flashy kind of plays, and Jay's kind of what I call a trash basket player. She gets that trash basket. She gets that rebounder. She gets that loose baller. And so those two were very vital in this win. It was interesting too, and I know I'm referencing both games. At the end of that game, I don't know that we subbed very much at all because we had 5 or 6 or 7 who were really in a flow and who were really playing well, and I didn't want to mess that up. I had Tyra Johnson on the bench, and she's a post and she can play, but Cam and Jay were playing so well, I didn't want to mess that flow up. And the guards, Kyzar Bell was having a really good game. I didn't want to mess that flow up and put Maddie Mitchell in, who had played well, and then you flip that to the Southern Shreveport game the next day, and it was a different lineup. It was Maddie Mitchell, and it was, Amari Barnes did not play very much in this game, and then against Southern Shreveport, she comes in as our defensive stopper. So it's just interesting how different games, different players, but I think that's going to be one of the strengths of this team. I think we have a lot of depth. Yeah. I think we have 10 people. And Kaylee Johnson may play well one game, and then Imani Key's going to play well the next game. And I think that's something that's going to be a strength of this team. I didn't realize Cookie had 16 points until you told me, because I do feel like they were very quiet 16. And she's sneaky. She gets sneaky steals and sneaky baskets. The reverse layup that she made, that's not an anomaly. She practices that shot all the time. She's in the gym, and she shoots more than any human being that I've ever been around. And that's what makes her good. That's why she goes 5 for 7 against South Arkansas 2 weeks ago. It's why she scores 31 points. And that's a trait of this team too. They shoot a lot. I don't have to get on to them about, hey, you need to come in the gym and work out. They spend their time in the gym working out, and so I think that's going to make us successful down the road.
I also want to highlight, you said Imani Key had 9 in this one. Madison Mitchell probably maybe the best game she's played. Maybe not points-wise. She had 7 points, but she had 6 assists. She did a really good job of facilitating the ball throughout that game as well, too. And then you look at the Southern Shreveport game. We talked a little bit about this one. 62-57 against this one. A game where, very quick turnaround, a team, that's only got about 7 players, got some players injured. Maybe looking forward to Thursday when you go back to South Ark. We'll talk about that one in a second as well, too. Had maybe a little bit of feel of a trap game, but you did get the win. And your thoughts overall on being able to get that win?
Happy to get a win. Again, I'm always happy to get a win. I felt like we played just pretty much utterly atrocious the entire game, probably up until the fourth quarter. I felt like in the first half we were running in sand. In fact, the 5 starters, I looked at Coach Thompson and I said, I'm fixing to take all 5 of them out, because it was like we weren't ready to play. We weren't focused, and things were hard, and we didn't want to play through the hard, and we were just having trouble scoring. We tried to press, and we couldn't do that. We tried a different defense, and we didn't do it well. It was just like nothing was clicking, and it was so disappointing, because the day before I felt like that was a good win for us, and everything clicked, and we did everything we were supposed to right. And then in this game, we just couldn't get going. It is hard. It's hard to turn around and play 2 days back to back. It's hard to get motivated for a team that has 7 players. But, Southern Shreveport's, it's not a team that you're just going to walk out there and beat. So I'm happy with the win. I wish we would have played better. I think we've got a lot to learn. I didn't think we did a very good job defensively. We would rotate over. The secondary defender would rotate over and help, but the backside help would never rotate, and we were leaving them wide open for layups on the backside. And I was like, we can't do that. And then we started trading baskets with them at one point. I said, we can't trade baskets. We're going to have to, get defensive stops. And the most disappointing thing is the score, we won by 5, but we were up by about 10. And we gave them 2 threes with 30 seconds left because we didn't really contest hard. We just kind of said, oh, the game's over with. And in high school basketball, a 10-point lead, the game probably is over with a 10-point lead with 1 minute left. But in a college game, that's not true. People shoot the ball too well. And so, again, 10 new faces, 9 freshmen. Those are things that we're having to learn and grow and teach. Once again, very proud of our staff I called 2 timeouts early, and I looked at Coach Thompson. I said, don't let me call anymore unless we just absolutely have to, because I felt like, especially since we were having so much trouble scoring, I knew we were going to need our timeouts late. And I'm very thankful we kept them, because they came out and pressed us, and Maddie Mitchell got in a bind. And she looks at me and she said, I'm so glad you called that timeout, Coach, because I was in a bind. And I said, I know. And so we kept them. We were able to advance the ball with 5 seconds left. We were able to timeout advance, and that was kind of what sealed the deal for us. So really proud of the win. Wish we would have played better, but there's always growth and learning opportunities.
You look at the box score. They won the first quarter 14-10. You outscored them in the second 15-14. Really outscored them in the third 21-11. And then the fourth quarter 18-16. So that's where you get 62-57. And then you look at the line score. Your leading scorer in this one was Jay Robinson. And if it's not a historic performance, it's got to be top 5 all time at Co-Lin. 18 rebounds, 14 of those defensive rebounds. So when you're getting 14 defensive rebounds, you're stopping a lot of second chance opportunities and a lot of possessions for the other team. And then 14 for Cookie. She also had 5 assists, 5 steals. So those were your 2 leaders, and it really felt like those were the 2 who pushed you and really pushed you to the win in this one.
Yeah, I had no idea that Jay Robinson had that many points. I knew she had a ton of rebounds because every time I looked up, and it was like she was flying in from everywhere to get rebounds. One of our keys to victories for this game was we had to rebound and we had to out-rebound them. And I knew she got fouled a lot because I felt like she missed a lot of free throws. I don't know that she missed as many free throws as I felt like she did. But she's a player who came from a high school program where her job really wasn't to score. It was to defend and rebound. So one of the things that we've really had to work with her on since she's gotten here is, hey, have a scorer's mentality. If you're open, shoot the ball. We want you to score. And she struggled with that a little bit because she'll tell you, well, I didn't really score a lot in high school. I'm not asking her to score 20 a game, but when she's open, we've got to have her score. And I thought she embraced that really well in the Delgado game, and I thought she did a good job of embracing that in this game. I felt like Cam Pruitt, I don't know what her line score was, but I felt like she played well again for us in the post. I felt like we were able to go to Cam and Jay and really get those inside baskets, which opened some things up on the outside. Cookie didn't have one of her best games, and that's okay. Everybody has a bad game. And bad game is the wrong way to put that. She didn't have a game where she scored a lot of points. She still did a lot of really good things for us. She got steals, she got assists, and she helped us do what we needed to do to win the game. Imani Key didn't shoot it great, but she still had a good game as well. I thought Maddie Mitchell had a really, really good game. I thought she did a really good job of leading our team and commanding it, especially late. One of the last possessions of the game, when there was about 45 seconds left, we called something to try to run some time off the clock, and she kept us poised and she kept us patient, and then she went and got the easy basket in that because she kept us poised and patient. Kylan Bell was sick before the game, and you don't know. I'm not good at asking them, are you okay, and how do you feel? I'm going to play them unless they tell me they can't play. And at one point in the game, I looked at her and I looked at Coach Thompson and said, she can't go. And she said, no, Coach, she can't go. And so it was huge for us that Maddie Mitchell was able to come back in and take that role and embrace it when Kai was sick. So again, our depth, I think that's going to be a strength of our team.
And you look at it, Imani, Cam, Madison Mitchell, all 8 points. So, 24 points between the three of them. Those are 24 huge points for you. Now you look at the upcoming schedule. You've got one more this upcoming week, 3 games in 4 days. It's probably a lot. Some people will probably go, Coach, you might be a little insane for playing.
Good scheduling on the coach's part, wasn't it?
3 games in 4 days. But you're going to go to South Arkansas, and this is a team that we saw a couple of weeks ago. You beat them 75-47, and I think the danger here is you can underestimate how well they're going to play at their home court. What are you expecting out of this matchup, having to go up there, knowing what you saw up there last year?
Well, if you want to talk about a trap game, this is probably a trap game. A coach that schedules 3 games in 4 days. But we're about to be off for a week for Thanksgiving, and I wanted to play. Once we start playing, I like to play. Practice is great, but you learn more in one game than you do in a week of practice, and that's why I said, let's just play. Let's play some games. When South Arkansas called and they wanted to get on the schedule, and this was a great date for us to go and play them because we don't have class on Fridays. It doesn't matter what time we get back. We can get back at 4 in the morning and we can sleep late. And so, but I'm very concerned about this game. They did not play well here. They did not shoot it well. I think if you go back and look at the box score, I think they shot it like 17% from the 3, which is not indicative of how well this team shoots it. We, on the other hand, shot it incredibly well against them and played incredibly well here. You're supposed to play well at home, and so that's going to flip. When we have to go there, they're going to shoot it well in the confines of their gym. So I don't want us to take this game lightly. I don't want us to overlook it, and there is danger because I'm excited about Thanksgiving break. I'm excited about spending some time with my family. I know my kids are excited about going home and getting to spend time with their family, but we've got one more job to do. We've got one more business trip that we've got to handle. We've talked all year about taking it week by week. Let's finish 2-0. Let's finish 1-0. We have not finished 2-0 yet. If we could win this would be the first week of our season that we've gone undefeated. And that would be huge for us going into a big break and then coming back and getting ready for conference play. South Arkansas, they've got 5 players on their team and they can all 5 shoot it. I think the game plan on this one's going to be real simple. We're going to match up. We're going to play man, and you better identify and stay close to those shooters. Offensively, I'm not concerned about that. We'll run our stuff. It will be a hostile environment. Last year we went up there and their baseball team got all over us, and that affected us a little bit. It's a long drive. It's probably 3.5-4 hour bus ride. So there are a lot of hurdles that we've got to overcome before we get there, and an eye-opening thing for our team because I don't look forward very much. I take it one game at a time, and after the game yesterday, I told him, I said, now enjoy this one today because tomorrow we've got to flip the page. And Holmes, who beat us about a week ago, went up there, I believe it was last week, and got beat 10 or 12. So that was very eye-opening to them because they were like, seriously? And I said, yeah, it's going to be different when you go there. The environment's going to be different. They're going to play better. They're going to shoot it better, just like we shoot it better in Mullen. You and I both know we didn't shoot it well at Southwest. Mm-hmm. Had that tournament been here, those are different games because we shoot it better in our own gym. So, I feel good about us. I feel like we've got a really good shot to go win, but we're going to have to take it seriously and be prepared to go and play.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining us this week. Lots of exciting things happening for the Lady Wolves. They're on a 3-game win streak, 101-69 over Delgado, 71-69 over LSU Eunice, and then 62-57 over Southern Shreveport in their last 3. Go on the road to South Ark this upcoming Thursday. I believe South Arkansas will stream that one. We'll give you that information as it's available to us. Stick with us through the break. Join me next as head men's basketball coach David Sanders. We'll find out how the Wolves have done lately and look ahead to their upcoming matchups after the Thanksgiving break.
At Capaya Lincoln Community College, you'll find a family of instructors and staff who truly care about your success. And not to mention a really fun college experience too. Co-Lin was recently ranked number 1 in the state for student success. So whether you need to start or finish your college degree, take classes on one of our 3 campuses or online, Co-Lin is the place to be.
Welcome back in. Thanks for sticking with us through the break. And as promised, joining me now is our head men's basketball coach, David Sanders. Coach, thanks for joining me.
Good to be here.
And Coach, just like the women, coming off feeling really good about the last 3. You've won 3 straight now. Go all the way back to the Baton Rouge post-grad game. We're able to get that win there, 107-84. And it's got to feel good to get that win and be at home and open up with a home win.
Yeah, it does feel good, to get that one. I don't know why I was thinking it's 4 in a row. Guess I'm ahead of myself. But, yeah, it's good to, go on the road and get a win, man, against a good Phillips team and, kind of get back on the winning side of things, after that swing in Florida. So, guys playing okay right now. I think we can play a lot better, but when you don't play your best and still win on the road, I think it's a good sign.
Yeah. You look at this one and you go back and you outscored Baton Rouge post-grad in the first half 60-38. Then you outscored them 47-46. Second half was a little bit closer than what you wanted. Got it real closer than what you wanted it to, but you look at that one and we may have talked about this one already a little bit before, but want to remind people of what happened there. Dakota had 24, Devin had 18, and Javian with 13 there. So those the 3 guys that you rely on were the motive for you.
Yeah, definitely, man. We tried to play some more guys late in that game. Second half to get some more guys some action. And the issue we're having now is having a drop off once our starters come out. So we're trying to get that fixed, man. And so that made it a little closer than I wanted it to be. But I thought it was a valuable experience for the guys on the bench. Our main guys did what they do, and now we just got to get some more guys stepping up, helping them like Fred Gray.
So then you look at the Delgado game. You mentioned Fred Gray. We're going to talk about him big time in this one. You look at this one, and this was on paper, it felt like this was a matchup that could be really, really close. You went into it thinking they would battle tooth and nail with you, and the scoreline says it wasn't, and it really didn't feel that close. 95-60. It really felt like maybe even bigger than a 35-point win, but your thoughts overall on how the guys really kind of answered the bell and really stepped up to a challenge and beat a really good Delgado team?
Well, I think I'm seeing now in that non-conference, I think once a year we get hot at home like that. I think last year was against the home team, and everybody just was hitting shots. And once you get in a flow like that, like we did as a group, it's really tough to beat. Delgado's a really good team. They ran into a buzzsaw that night, and we got to go there and play them, and I know they're going to be ready for us. But I was very proud of how we played as a team. I thought it was our best night of execution on the defensive end with the game plan we wanted to do. They had a really good player in Lavardian, and he was a guy that has been really running through some teams in the league scoring-wise, so we wanted to try to slow him down. And I thought we accomplished it, and so, just proud of how the guys played.
You look at the box score, you outscored them 48-37 in the first half and really just kept that momentum moving in the second half. Outscored them nearly over 2-1, outscored them 47-23 in the second half. That's how you get to 95-60. I think they got it pretty close. But really what felt like the turning point was Fred Gray Jr. Fred Gray Jr. finished this game with 21 points. He had 6 straight threes in the second half. He was red hot. I told somebody, I said he could have been standing in the desert and would have found some water to throw that ball into at that point. That really felt like that was the point where it kind of took all the wind out of the sails for Delgado there.
It really did. Fred's a guy that's probably not even averaging three or 4 points a game, but he's a guy we really know can shoot the ball. He has some great practices, and we've been talking lately about guys, especially our sophomores not being practice players, because they look really good in practice sometimes. And we told him it's time to take it to the game floor. And Fred took that to heart, man. He got a first open look and he knocked it down. He's one of those streaky type shooters, to where if he sees the ball go in, he see it go in one time, he can really get hot. He's a good mid range shooter as well, and he can finish at the rim. Fred, like I said, is a kid that averaged 28 a game as senior in high school, so he's used to putting the ball in the hole. So to see him get hot like that, it's really good for the team. It was good for him, and I'm very happy for him as a player because he worked so hard.
Right, and then Devin did what Devin does. Devin got 30. I think at this point you kind of get used to the fact Devin's going to put about 20 shots up a game. He's going to score about 25 to 30. I feel like that's just something you're going to count on from here on out. And then, of course, Prince Ojukwu gets a 10-point game as well, too, and really was big on the boards for you. 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. He was just kind of all over the place for you throughout that whole game.
Yeah, Prince is our Swiss Army knife, man. We depend on him to do a lot of different things, guard the other team's best player, rebound the ball, make shots, and, he can give handles as well. So, we expect a lot out of him, and he's been delivering as a freshman. And of course, with Devin, one thing we're trying to do now is we're trying to get him to be a little bit more efficient. Something about Co-Lin and these Devins. We're struggling with the efficiency of it. 25 points on 22 shots is not good. I mean, of course, we'll take the points, and I know he's a young guy, too. He's a freshman trying to figure it out. But we want to try to get him to be more efficient, not only with his scoring, but with when he get those double teams to find the opening guy, and get his assist numbers up as well. So he's going to be a good one. I joke with him all the time, tell him he doesn't know any basketball, and he's already averaging 24 games. So, once he really, really lock it down and figure it out, and he's really working at it, he wants to know. He's in there watching film with me this morning, so he's constantly trying to get better. So I think that kid is going to have a great future.
And another guy that kind of stood out to me was Keyshawn Shields. Keyshawn only had 7 points, but where he really affected the game, 4 assists, 7 steals. Very active hands for a guard, able to get you some turnovers and make some quick possessions for you, and able to turn those turnovers into points as well, too.
Yeah, I think Keyshawn had six steals in the first half, so he really kind of set the tone for defensively. I know we got to beat a couple times. He was Johnny on the spot right there to get the steal. Just using his instincts. He's a really good defensive player. He's one of our best athletes. He got those long arms. So, we really count on him to make plays on the defensive end.
Then this past Tuesday, you go up to West Helena, Arkansas. You face off against Phillips Community College, and you beat them 89-73, a game that was close in the first half. You outscored them 31-30, and then you just kind of bullied them in the second half. You outscored them 58-43. Your thoughts on this one and how the guys were able to answer the bell after having a few days off and really almost could have been in trouble because you could have been looking ahead to the fact that we only played 1 game this week. We have a solid, then we have some time off. Yeah. A little bit of a feel, maybe a trap game in ways just because of that. But your thoughts overall on how the guys handled it?
Yeah, I think it was a little mix up with the schedule where we thought we was going to play the day before, and guys were, of course, looking forward to playing and getting on their break, so you know how that goes. And so, I think that kind of contributed to us going down there and playing a little sluggish in the first half. And Phillips, got a little live. They made a couple shots and they hung around a little while, but we were able to kind of get some things adjusted at halftime and come out and get a tough roll in. Yeah,
looking back at the tape, don't have the stats back yet. We were able to go back and watch a little bit of that, though. You saw Keyshawn, we talked about him in the Delgado game. In this game, he had a big 3 right there to end the first half that gave you that 31-30 lead. Really pulled up from really deep, kind of in between the half-court line and the three-point line, and then just sunk it like he knew how to do it. That felt like it was kind of a momentum-turning play for you.
Yeah, Keyshawn's a guy that really scored the ball. He hadn't really gotten fully comfortable yet. But that was a big shot. Something about those kids when they're in a situation where they know they got to go get a bucket, they do it a little better. And so, that kind of gave us a little momentum going in the half because I think they just had to hit a deep 3 to go up to on the other end. We were having shot clock issues all night. So, it was big for him to come down and knock that shot down to give us a lead back going into half. And then, like I said, we was able to come out in the first 5 minutes and kind of stretch the lead out a little bit. But, yeah, he's playing well for us.
A few stats that we do have. Devin had 29, Prince had 15, and Javian had 14. And it always kind of feels like you're looking at JJ to really kind of distribute the ball, not necessarily looking for him to always score in double digits. So anytime he can get you 10+, you got to like your odds on getting a win that night.
Yeah, we really are pushing him to score the ball because he can do that. He gets in the lane better than anybody we have on our team. He's a really good passer, but teams are going to start keying on his passing, and that's why I told him we got to keep him honest with the scoring. And he had 3 or 4 big floaters there down the stretch for us that kind of stretched the lead out. And he's a kid that can really score. He hit a couple big threes. I think most of his points came in the second half, so he kind of stepped us up in the second half as far as scoring wise because they were kind of sagging off him a little bit. And he answered the bell, man. He's just a really good player for any size, but at his size, you don't expect to get all that from him.
So now you look ahead and you get some time off. It's probably some well-earned time off. I know the guys are probably looking forward to being able to go home, spend some time with their families, those kind of things, enjoying that Thanksgiving break. But when you come back, you hit the road running and literally hit the road. You're going to go play Baton Rouge at their place on December 2nd. What do you know about the Bears coming into that one, and what are you expecting out of that matchup when you come back? I know you'll probably bring the guys back a little bit earlier than what you're used to, just to kind of get a couple of practices in. But what are you expecting out of that matchup in that atmosphere?
Yeah, Baton Rouge is always a tough team. Coach Starks was actually at LSUE before, and the year we won the league, he was one of the few teams that beat us that year. So. He's always a tough team to beat at home. He's kind of took it over Baton Rouge now and monopolizing that Louisiana area. And so he's going to always have a tough team. I think they dropped a close one to Southwest last night. And, I'm going to get that film and a couple other teams they played to kind of break it down. But I hadn't really seen them at all this year. I've been kind of trying to take it one game at a time. And so, I get in there and start digging in with that film with him. I got a couple weeks to prepare. So, looking forward to that. Guys need a much-needed break. Devin has some knee and ankle issues right now. And a few guys banged up. So, Prince, he has some issues. So, this comes at a really good time for us. It's almost like a bye week. So, we need to let some guys get rested up. We'll come back and go eat a little turkey and come back and run it off and be ready to play Baton Rouge.
A Baton Rouge team that I would imagine maybe the sophomores have a little bit of extra motivation to play a little bit harder against them, a bunch that ended their season, some would say a little bit early last year. So you got to imagine those sophomores are going to be really amped up for this matchup.
I know my sophomores. I'm pretty sure they probably forgot about it. So they have a very short memory when it comes to stuff like that, which kind of sometimes can work in our favor. And I think those guys are really working hard now. And I don't. At this point, it's really not any extra motivation because it's early in the year. Right now we're just kind of filling it out. Once conference play comes, to get a little bit more intense. But we just gonna go play, man. Hopefully we can come out with the win. But right now we're more concerned about the development and where we are as a team than we are about just the wins and losses. We're trying to develop how we want to play. So.
All right, so thanks for joining me this week, Coach. We look forward to talking to you in a couple of weeks. That'll do it for this week. Again, as a reminder, Wolves and Lady Wolves both on 3 win streaks, but the Wolves wins over Baton Rouge Postgrad 107-84, Delgado 95-60, and Phillips 89-73 in their last ones. They're off for the rest of the week. Everybody's off next week. It's Thanksgiving break. We won't have a coaches show. So the next time that we talk to you, it'll be December. Wow, it's already here. The year is almost done with, at least half the school year anyway. But the next time the Wolves will be on the court will be Monday, December 2nd at Baton Rouge. We'll give you that stream link when it's available. I'm Kevin Kyzar, Sports Information Coordinator here at Co-Lin. Thanks for tuning in, and next time we talk to you, it'll be December.